know for sure where the grant money stands. We don't know. It all has to be reconsidered, right? They have to. There are no guarantees, of course, but no one can speak definitively to do or we don't. We don't know. So, and I agree that there should be a forthright, transparent approach to these things. Lay your cards on the table. Be clear about where you stand at all times. Then you can build trust. Then you can make decisions that all parties can trust each other. I agree totally. I do think that things may not have been done properly, but it doesn't mean that we have to fold everything and just walk away with animosity. I think what is the point of doing that? Crying over spilled milk. I mean, we have opportunity to say we have strength in numbers, we have possibilities in joint cooperation here. Why would we walk away from that when we can say that there may be some type of alternative now and move on and try to deal with it at this point now?
You try and convince me that I should trust you guys. You tell me that. Who's going to pay all the taxpayers' dollars that I represent back in South Huron that's gone if this goes away? You answer that one to me. And how are you going to answer to your own people about the money that's gone?
Well, I know the one time I sat on this board, I tried to challenge that. The one time I sat here. Because I recognize that was only fair to you to be upfront with you. And I would say that 2/3 of us, there's a group of us that sincerely want to do something differently. I don't know where I'm going to speak for myself.
I'll give you credit for being here anyways. At least you are here.
What's the legal process that we have to go through? We have looked. This board has looked at alternatives. We had the master plan was done. We had it challenged on the type of plant. We went back. We reviewed the New Hamburg system. We had technical reviews, and we spent a lot of time looking at alternatives. And they were all ruled out. And this board agreed to that was the alternative that the best suited. Mr. Garvison mentioned that we've gone too far down the road with this project to move away from the Orbital system. We're at where we're at. Don, I brought you into this. I'm sorry. Do you have a comment?
Thank you, Chairman. If I may, one suggestion that the board can consider is, with the information that we now have with the EAs, Blue, I shouldn't point to Brent, he's no longer representing Blue Water, but the Blue Water until Friday. The Blue Water Collection System EA is complete, and the notice of completion has been filed. We're working through a few issues. Our EA with the collection system is essentially wrapped up. It will be done in a few days, and we'll file our notice of completion. There's a lot of new things that we found through the collection system EAs. I can't speak to the Land and Shores EAs, but from what I've heard, there are different things coming out of those EAs. A couple of really critical things that have been discovered through the South Huron EA is the very extensive evaluation of PS2. And there's significant flow differences in PS2 from what was calculated in the sewage treatment plant EA. So it's just, as we do more detail, more work, we get better and better information. So one thing that we've done in PS2 is we've installed, with Land and Shores consent, our partner in the PS2, a continuous flow monitoring device. And it'll stay in there for, we'd like to keep it in there for a few seasons, so we can determine assumptions. So now we have more accurate information. The concept of re-rating the plant, because the equipment that's in the single treatment train can treat significantly more sewage than what it's rated at. And the rating of sewage plants is it's a complex issue. It's several things that determine how a plant's rated. One of the biggest challenges we face with this sewage plant is the seasonal variations in flow and the peaks. And we have some very high peak flows. And one of the controlling factors with the sewage plant design is picking the peak flows at the maximum days, the maximum month, is a very, very high number. And we've discovered through the PS2 evaluation, very, very detailed engineering analysis, and the analysis of the flows coming from the POG plant, that peak can be brought down significantly.
There you go.
So what that does, how that translates to the plant design, with some re-engineering of or redoing of the calculations based on off-peak flow data, you re-rate the single treatment train. Actually, the whole plant can be re-rated for significantly increased average daily flow capacity. And if I would offer anything to you today, that would be the first to the sewage board, would be that suggestion, is to look at that number first to see what that would achieve for a single treatment train. And I've said before that if the sewage plant does collapse, if the project does not move forward, we're still in a position where something has to be done with the lagoon. And so Karen's position is not council's position, the staff's position is that something still needs to be done with the lagoon. There's still a capacity issue, there's still an effluent discharge issue, it's just a question of what you do. And from our perspective, we'll look at anything. Thank you.
George?
Thank you. Well, I agree with a lot of the comments, and I think Blue Water is frustrated with the fact that there's indecisiveness on the part of another one of the parties. We gave option 3, which was pretty clear in our contract. And if we're gonna start this all over again, I think my recommendation to Blue Water Council would be that we put together a very clear referendum question to the residents of Hay West, and they can have it sent out in return prior to May 1st, and at the end of the day, we might just be able to say, you two guys are on your own.
Whatever it is, I believe we'll be on our own without funding, so that's, is there any way to salvage with a 2-week extension to this committee, reconsideration back to councils, and Paul,
Well, actually, he's more into, I think he is on
If we agree to an extension, what we were working on is the tendering process. We tendered, gone to tender. So when was that, the date on that?
the tender, the date to accept the tender is the 4th. So whether we can request extension on that is
They
something.
they won't extend that.
Yep.
We can't just go back in 6 months or 2 months' time and say, we're gonna go to tender for the same thing as we did. Like, I'm not a lawyer, but I was always told a tender's a tender, and you gotta respect that process. And, like, this is costing, I'm not prepared today to make any decision until it goes to our council. Like, I don't, like, even if